What is Bill C-9?
Attacks on synagogues, shootings at synagogues. This was supposed to be a response to that. Unfortunately, although it had a laudable goal, this really misses the mark when it comes to, we're really concerned because Bill C-9, as part of the process going through the House of Commons, was amended significantly. And one of the really concerning amendments that was made is we had a member of the government come to the Justice Committee and say, in his opinion, parts of the Bible and parts of the Torah are objectively hateful, and that Canadian prosecutors should have discretion to charge people for preaching those pieces of scripture.
We are here right now in the West Block of Parliament, right outside the House of Commons, and I'm here with MP Jacob Mantle. Thank you so much for taking time to meet today.
Yeah, my pleasure, and great to host you here in Ottawa. We're just outside the chamber. So it's a great place to talk about Bill C-9.
So, we just left from the C-9 rally, right? I'm so grateful that your team would invite us here to do a quick interview and just hear your thoughts on it. For those who haven't been keeping up with Bill C-9, what is Bill C-9?
Yeah, well, thanks for paying attention. We're doing the best we can to educate Canadians on what Bill C-9 is. So just to give you a little bit of recap, Bill C-9 was the Liberal government's response to the rising hate crimes that are being seen across Canada. And that's a real issue. It's a serious issue. I think all parliamentarians, all Canadians are concerned with, especially the rise in anti-Semitism. I'm from Toronto, so if you're from Toronto, I mean, you've read about, you've heard about, attacks on synagogues, shootings at synagogues, etc. So this was supposed to be a response to that. Unfortunately, although it had a laudable goal, this really misses the mark when it comes to dealing with hate-motivated acts, but protecting freedom of expression in Canada and the freedom of Canadians to not only just express themselves on any issue, but also to live out their faith, whether that's a Christian faith, a Muslim faith, a Jewish faith, or anything else. And so we're really concerned because Bill C-9, as part of the process going through the House of Commons, was amended significantly. And one of the really concerning amendments that was made is the removal of these long-standing protections in the criminal code that protect people who are expressing sincerely held religious beliefs or are expressing those beliefs that are based on a religious text from being criminally prosecuted for hate speech. And that's really important because we agree that hate is not a good thing. But we also need to make sure that whenever we talk about curtailing people's speech, we're super careful. And this bill, in our opinion, sends a really bad message to all Canadians of faith that their expression and their religion could be subject to criminal sanction. And that's not just me saying that. We had a member of the government come to the Justice Committee and say, in his opinion, parts of the Bible and parts of the Torah are objectively hateful, and that Canadian prosecutors should have discretion to charge people for preaching those pieces of scripture. Wow. So it's not my words. You don't have to take my words. If you think I'm biased, I mean, that's fine. This is politics. But I mean, you can quote Mark Miller. He's a minister in the Liberal government, and those were his words at committee. So that's where we're at right now. So that's why we had the rally on Parliament Hill on C-9. We're trying to raise awareness of this as the bill goes through the legislative process.
That makes so much sense. And, for Bill C-9, how do you feel about it personally? Do you find it concerning? I know you mentioned some concerns that you have. Would you elaborate on how you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I'm a practicing Christian myself. I completely feel it's an assault on my faith. It's an assault on all Canadians who have a faith and who want to live out that faith in the public square. And increasingly, we are in a society, a secular society that says, it's fine to have your views, but you got to keep them to yourself. That's not the Canada that we have. That's not the Canada we should have. Everyone's opinion, whether it's favorable, unfavorable, whether it's accepted or not accepted, cultural or countercultural, should have a place to be expressed in the public square. And what Bill C-9 does is it sends a really powerful message to people of faith saying your opinion and your beliefs are not welcome in Canadian society.
Wow. And so for people who are concerned about Bill C-9, what should they be doing right now?
Yeah, a couple things. If you live in a part of Canada that's represented by a Liberal member of Parliament or a Bloc Québécois member of Parliament, if you're in Quebec, call them and let them know how you feel about C-9. Christians from across the country, Muslims from across the country, Jewish people from across the country have been making hundreds of thousands of calls to their representatives to let them know we are in a democracy. You got to exercise your right to explain your views to your member of parliament. We've got petitions. We've got other ways that you can show your opposition to C-9. I mean, we have this rally here. So all of those are available to you. You know, go on my website, go on anyone's website. We've got materials about C-9. Yeah.
For those who might say, you know what, Jacob, we actually think that the Bible is hateful. For those who might say, you know what, they think that the Bible should be censored. We've seen many people in the comments of some of our videos saying that the Bible should be censored because they think it's hateful. What would you say to that? Do you agree with that?
I obviously do not agree with that. I don't think any part of the Bible is hateful. I think the beauty of the Bible is the message of the gospel, that we have all fallen short, we are all sinful, and we all need salvation. I mean, that's the most universal message I think on the planet. What I would say is that there's always this tendency to censor what we don't like, but the antidote to hate is not censorship. The antidote to hate is not government-approved truths. The antidote to hate is and always has been more speech, more debate, more voices seeking for the truth, not censorship. And so I think that's the bedrock of a free society. And it actually inscribed in one of the windows of the center block of Parliament is a very powerful message that says, freedom is the possession of those who have the courage to defend it. And I think this is a time to have courage to oppose censorship, and protect the freedom of expression and the freedom of religion of all Canadians. And I want to make one more point. I mean, there has been near universal opposition to Bill C-9 from across faith communities. It's not just Christian organizations. The Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops, the Rabbinical Council of Toronto, the National Council of Canadian Muslims, sort of just across the religious spectrum, everyone is saying the same thing, which is we think Bill C-9 is a bad idea. And so we hope that groundswell of opposition will find its way to the government and find its way to the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister says that he is a believing Christian, and I take him at his word at that. And so I want to hear what his opinion is on this, and I hope he will do the right thing and withdraw this proposal.